right, y'all. Welcome back and happy Monday. This is podcast episode, what is this, P? Number 13 or something like
Something like
that? I
that.
don't know, 12, 13.
Yes.
Either way, we have some things to talk about with Tennessee. We haven't really got your thoughts, P. I've been talking a lot about like the future for Tennessee, like over this, to kind of like start this week off, I guess, on Sunday and then all of last week, pretty much all that we talked about. Coming off of the bye,
Mhm.
we got New Mexico State coming up. We're going to talk about that. Got some other things that we'll be talking about as well. If y'all could do us a favor and make sure to like and subscribe to the channel, helps us out in a major way. Shouts out to all the members. Pete, just like real quick opening thoughts, like how are you feeling about where we're at in the season? Like what's your energy like?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing. It almost feels like the season's all but over for us. Not a ton left to play for, but pride. I mean, which is, that's something. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the way I look at it. I mean, I tell these guys, heck, we don't give a dang about a trophy. We get a chance to go line up and go fight somebody for 4 quarters. So, I mean, hopefully they keep that mentality and they come out here and finish the season strong and keep playing hard. But it's just disappointing. I know a lot of the national guys weren't very high on us coming into the season. You look at a guy like Josh Pate, for example, really low on us. Had us going like 7-5, something like that. A lot of guys, same thing. And but you look at how we performed this season. I mean, really only one team beat us, and that's Alabama. And even that game, we were right there in it. I think we should have beat Georgia. We should have beat Oklahoma for sure. And so, even though the expectation from a lot of people wasn't for us to make the playoffs this year, I mean, we were right there and should have made the playoffs. So as the season unfolded, I think we underachieved relative to what we could have done this year. And so very disappointed in that, but hopefully these guys can finish this thing out strong.
Yeah, it's funny that you say that because that's something that we will touch on if we do have the time. But let's kick it off right now with our schedule, where we're at right now, and we'll scroll on down. So New Mexico State week, P, that game's going to be played at 4:15, which I guess is good because P, your team's about to be playing in the championship coming up on Saturday, so that gives us plenty of time to get ready for the game. And let me just shout out to my brother P, man. He's a defensive coordinator for my nephew, his son Kaysen, for their team. Their defense is unbelievable. Like y'all would be shocked. Y'all would probably want P to be the DC for Tennessee. He's got these young kids out there, P. They're like 8, 9 years old or something?
8 years old, yeah.
8 years old. They're dropping into coverage. They're playing with proper leverage. They're getting off blocks. They're setting edges. They're breaking up passes. I mean, it's honestly speaking, in this league, it's the best defense that I've seen from that standpoint, right? Like doing, and he'll say, well, I got a lot of good players, bro. Nobody is teaching the guys how to play like that. So yeah, it's good for us that the game is later on, but for everybody else, they probably wish that game was being played earlier. But P, have you watched any film on them?
On New Mexico State?
Yeah.
Nah, I haven't watched a lick of them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lie to you.
Man, listen, I watched a grand total of about maybe 10 plays. So I try to watch most of them versus Tulsa. And when I tell you, man, we could play and I'm not trying to take a shot or be disrespectful, but I'm just being honest. We could play our backup. Like we could literally like start GMAC. He could start in this game. And I would anticipate that we would win it by about 30 points. That's how it looks. So what are like your expectations coming out of this week?
And I was going to ask you that too. Is that the point we're at right now? I know you've kind of talked about it, but I mean, is it time to get ready for the future, or do we still play this deal like we're still playing for something? You know what I mean? Like, because I would like to see GMAC. I would like to see some of these younger guys. Morris, Baker. Get Rah, Travis Smith, get these guys going. Brain. Start getting these guys ready. You know what I mean? I know like the seniors, the guys that are still here. Obviously, I mean, this is their last few games, most likely, whatever, and, bowl game too. But I mean, that's the tricky part. You got to find that balance of, hey, let's let these guys finish out what they started. And, hey, let's get ready for next year. Cause these are valuable reps, especially when you start getting into conference play here in a couple of weeks. So, I expect us to come out here and play inspired football, man. I think this team has a lot of pride, and they're going to come out here and play hard and try to continue to get better. And, I expect us to come out here and dominate. Like I said, I haven't seen Mexico State, but I mean, you imagine that they're going to be a bad ball club. So we should have some fun out here. And we'll see if Heupel mixes in some GMAC. Just get him some reps, because I don't know how many games. Do you know how many games he's played in? Just one game, right?
Yep.
Well, he could finish the season out. Like, he could play the rest of these three and still redshirt. So, let's go and let him get some burn.
Yeah, I mean, it's literally so you're asking, is it time for us to move on? Not fully. I think that we can, still win out and still work to win out while at the same time in certain spots mix in the players that you need to get a look for. And this is the week where you can get a good look. I mean, you should be able to get a
Mhm.
really, really good look, not just at quarterback, but obviously at quarterback. You got to get that figured out for sure. A lot of money is going to be allocated to the quarterback room for any team. And we took a look at that yesterday. But I mean, take a look at some other things too. Take a look at some other players and try to get them out there with guys who can play well with them and see how they fit into the mix. And then we'll know what we need to do moving forward. But this is the game where you have to get that done. And then versus Florida, versus Vandy, which we'll talk about here in just a second. I mean, maybe those guys can help you out because I'm gonna tell you, I don't see Boo Carter really being able to help us out. P playing at star right now, and I've
Uh,
kind of felt that way really once he gave up that slot fade, the way he gave that up, I said, bro, we got to have somebody else. Absolutely have to
yeah.
have somebody else because he's not even trying. And I'm not trying to
Mhm.
paint a bad picture of him. And everyone's talking about it. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but that's what we have to do. So yeah, I mean, but that's a team that P. I mean, literally just take 2 minutes out of your day, P. Go and watch a couple of clips. It's not going to take you long. You'll see. It's
Yeah.
everywhere.
Wow. Yeah.
It's and
Hopefully.
I'm really not trying to be mean to the kids, but I want for people to have the proper expectations in this game. So moving on to
Yeah.
the Florida week. All right, so obviously we have Florida coming up next week and going down to the swamp. Let's go ahead and pull them up here. So this is their team stats averaging about 20 points per game with the toughest schedule in all of college football, so don't let that fool you. Touchdowns 20. Y'all can see the first downs, whole lot of these things here. Third downs, they're at about 32%, which isn't great because that's their offense. Passing wise, you're seeing what they're doing there. It's not wowing you. None of these stats are wowing you, but I'm going to continue to say they had a very, very tough schedule. I really like their running game, P. So I'll just keep on
Mhm.
scrolling down. Y'all can pause it, take a look at whatever you want to take a look at, and then I'm gonna take a look at the individual player stats. Okay. So hopefully y'all were able to get things paused. I know I'm scrolling kind of quick, but let's go on to the player stuff, P, because we had to talk about this. I don't think DJ Lagway is going to be their starter moving forward. I've heard some things about maybe he's going to be hitting that portal. Might be good for him. Might be good for Florida. They'll probably try to hit the portal and go get somebody else. But this kid right here, Jones, he's a true freshman. I think he is a freshman. He's only 6 feet tall, which I was like, dang, he looks like he's bigger than that. But on the year, y'all can see what he's doing. Haven't had the chance to really dive deep into how he plays and all of that. Is going to be a problem for Tennessee. But what are your thoughts with this Florida matchup? Because I know like we've both kind of been scouting them over the course of the year some.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, a team that we've been saying all along, like it's a team that can play with anybody, can beat anybody. It's tough when you have a schedule like they had. I mean, just week after week, they played so many good teams, but they've been right there in pretty much every game. It's ironic, probably the worst team they played all year last week. Kentucky, they got blown out of the water. But you wonder if a little bit of that is them giving up on the season and just kind of turning in. I think they went out there and they gave a good effort against Georgia, and we saw they could have beat them, should have beat them probably. Somehow let that game slip away. This is a talented team, and we know that they're going to get up for us. Like they're not going to play. Kentucky's a game, and somehow Florida loses to Kentucky pretty often. I mean, they tend to lose to them. I think you couple that with how the season's gone. There's a recipe for them to lose that one. But don't get it twisted. I mean, I fully expect their best effort next week, like we talked about to start this thing off. If nothing else, for pride. They freaking can't stand us, and our guys can't stand them. So it's going to be a bloodbath. At the end of the day, the record doesn't matter. Win loss doesn't matter. It's 4 quarters of downside hut. Let's go fight each other. Until the whistle freaking blows. So it's going to be a freaking war. It's a talented team. I don't know anything about this new quarterback. I didn't see any of that Kentucky game last week, so don't know what he can do. So did he play last week?
Yeah, so he came in. I think he played the whole second half, and for me, he's a guy that looks a little bit more decisive, maybe I could say that. And maybe it was just like the juice of knowing, hey, I haven't had a chance to play. I'm coming out here. I'm playing. Wasn't super perfect. Obviously, I don't know if he threw any interceptions in that game, but DJ Lagway in the first half, he threw like three. One of them bounced off somebody. But I think that he's a guy that, as a Tennessee fan or as a player, you look and you say, okay, well, he's not DJ Lagway from a talent standpoint. Because Lagway, he's made some plays that it's like, dude, you know what I'm saying? Like we broke it
Yeah.
down for the members, Pete. It was a touchdown that they threw versus Georgia, and it was a inside slot post, and it's tough to cover that because most people, not a lot of teams run that. But DJ Lagway had pressure in his face. It was about a 45-yard pass with pressure, like literally throw it, look away, like a Steph Curry type dot.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
so I don't think that the freshman necessarily possesses that. He's more of a pocket passer. I don't see a lot of wiggle. He can run, but it's just not. I think that it could play into Tennessee's hand. We have them coming up this weekend versus Ole Miss. I hate playing teams after Ole Miss because it seems like we've lost every one of those games since Heupel's been here. Every single time, it's like Ole Miss makes them look terrible, then we make them look great. Um,
Yeah.
but we'll have, I guess, like enough film to figure out what his tendencies are, what they feel comfortable with him doing. But yeah, I mean, you know, outside of that, maybe Florida has given up some. Because like their defense really didn't look great to me. Like with their offense since Napier's left, I feel like it is so much of a watered down version of his system, which is complicated. And I think that what's the kid's name who you play with, P Jordan Rogers. He was like, man, you could tell that they've dumbed things down, and I guess they talked about dumbing things down. I think it will be fine on defense. You just got to tackle like this running back, number 13. You were the first one, P. I mean, I think you watched a couple of clips of him early in the season versus somebody saw it. You said, man, this kid right here, he is the truth. He is the truth. But it's just kind of like outside of that, I think the Tennessee is going to be fine as long as we can just get over going to the swamp and pulling out a victory.
Yeah, and we'll learn a lot. We'll learn a lot about this team this week. How they play against New Mexico, how they show up. Is this a game where we let these guys hang around, or do we come out here and put these guys away early? Are we showing that we're still engaged? And I fully expect the team to still be all in. But I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's a very talented Florida team. You can never count those teams out. If teams got talent on the roster, I don't care how they've looked all season. They have that A+ game is still in their bag somewhere. They could pull it out, but like you said, should be very simplified from an offensive perspective for them. So that should help out our linebackers, help out the middle of our defense, not getting so much eye candy and stuff like that. They can probably play downhill, play faster, and hopefully Tim Banks will just have a nice, simple game plan. Let these guys just line up and play football. I think we'll be fine if we can do that.
Yeah, and I know that they were missing one of their good freshman wide receivers. So I think that he's going to be back I think he's going to be back versus us. That does make a difference. Playing at home makes a difference. I think especially for the defense, like people, well, I guess people talk about that all the time, but I mean, it's even something that our own players talked about. Like, man, we could just like talk better because we're playing it, which is weird. Like you shouldn't be able to talk better playing at home, but either way, I do expect to get Florida's best. So let's move on to the next game, P. Vanderbilt, y'all can see their numbers here, averaging about 38 points per game. They do a lot of triple option stuff, a lot of misdirection stuff. It's the same offense from last season. I think they might be the oldest team in the SECP. So they got some dudes, they got grown men strength that have been in their system, that have played a whole lot of football. And I think that their defense, there's some weaknesses there for sure. Their offense, I mean, people are scared of it. People are all of a sudden scared of Pavia because before, Pavia sucks and people hate Pavia because he, plays with that swag. He's got the edge. He's going to talk the talk, but I think he also walks the walk. So I don't have a problem with that. If you could talk and then back it up, I don't have a problem with that. And
Sure.
I just think that he's not Taylor Green. You know what I mean? Like he ain't Taylor Green. Like we saw Taylor Green at home, and he's got more passing yards. We don't have more rushing yards. I would feel a lot more confident, and I always look at maybe what's the weakest spot on your team from a physical standpoint or from any standpoint whenever I'm trying to make a point. But as a cornerback, are you scared to go tackle Pavia face to face? Now I'm talking about not even having to go low, like go tackle him face to face. Are you scared of that, P?
Oh, of course not. I mean, he's one of those guys that you absolutely would love to go tackle because he just seems like one of those guys he's not the fastest, doesn't have the most wiggle. He's going to just come straight at you. It's a free kill shot. But guys like him, for whatever reason, it's like it's hard to get a good shot on. We had a guy when I was at Vandy. He was a walk-on guy. I'm not gonna say his name, but he was a guy. I mean, talk about running straight up. He was probably, we'll say his guy's probably about 5'10", 190
Oh,
pounds, playing
wow.
running back.
Yeah.
Walk-on guy, probably like a 5'2", 40, ran straight up, like lift his knees up real high. And it just seemed like you could never hit him clean. Like you just were coming downhill so hard and you would always just miss him. You know what I mean? But he just had that luck. He had the hand of God on him or something. But Bobby, man, he's like you said, man. I gained a lot of respect for him this season because he talked it all off season and he has shown up. He's playing. He has an uber confidence. And you know what? Like you said, it can rub you the wrong way. But if you're backing that up, I can't get mad at somebody for telling me what they're going to do and then doing it.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to tell me, then do it. So I respect what he's doing. And this team overall, this Vanderbilt team overall is gaining my respect. I think they're a solid team. I mean, they're, what are they, like 8-2, something like that. I mean, they just keep finding ways to win. I think Clark Lee is a really good coach, getting these guys going because the talent to me still isn't really there. But like you said, a lot of veterans, a lot of older guys. They play well. They play complementary football. But this is a game to me. It's going to come down to coach. If we lose this game, it's because we got out-coached and we didn't just do things because we're still the way better team. If you're the way better team, you should freaking win. So, I mean, we should find a way to win, have success, be able to limit their offense. And I think offensively, we should be able to move the ball at will on these guys.
I mean, I think so too. I just think that it is a good matchup for us, right? Like they do all the misdirection and they're going to they have the slowest tempo in the whole SEC. So they eat up a whole bunch of clock. You have to get off the field. Obviously having a quarterback who can make some things happen, it does worry you, but I think just like last season, they might come out with a really good opening script and we might maybe be sleepwalking through it. I don't think that we will be this year, but man, just come out, play daggone football, and we should be fine. They have a really good tight end, which is what I was highlighting earlier, P, right here, Stowers, but he's good.
Yeah.
So will it be a tough matchup for our guys as far as linebackers, safeties, maybe star players? I think that as we talked about the opening, this game this weekend, I know that we want to find some more stars. We need some more depth there. But this is a game that we're going to need to find them for. It's not just about for next season. It's about for the rest of this year, too. Some of that, to me, is, Pete. But I would just say that if you're playing disciplined football, because a lot of what the tight ends get is off of plays that look like it's a run. They start off blocking, and then they can sneak out late. Play disciplined football, maintain your gaps, win individual battles, which I think Tennessee is fully capable of doing versus Vandy. And we should be perfectly fine. That's just the way that I look at it. I'm really not. This has not ever been a game over the course of the year that I've worried about at all. Not at all. But that's just me, Pete.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, I was definitely more worried about this game just because of the style of offense. But just the more I watch Vandy, I mean, like you said, I mean, who did this play last week? They just played. Did this play? It was somebody pretty decent. It was a decent team.
Was it? It wasn't Mizzou. Dang. You know what? You just put me on the spot because
Yeah, I'm sorry. It was an SEC team.
Yeah.
I can't think of who it was, but they end up finding a way to win. I can't remember who it was. That's right, Auburn. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So team has kind of been up and down, whatever. But Auburn was the way better team, and it felt like Auburn could do whatever they wanted offensively. They just kept doing dumb stuff. Like that's the way I feel. I feel like if you spread Vandy out, and this is when that spread stuff that we do works because your guys are better than their guys, and you're putting their guys in 1-1 situations in space, whether that's to make tackles or to cover somebody. We're better than them. I mean, we are. Like our guys are better, and so we should be able to score as many points as we need to. The thing we got to watch out for is turnovers. So Joey's got to be smart to football. Because if you get these guys possessions, like you talk about, the way they can milk the clock, they're gonna run that play clock down about 1 second every freaking time. And so if they can put together some first downs, they can have the ball the whole quarter. You can, it's gonna limit our offense's possessions, and that could cause some issues if we're not careful. But we should be scoring a lot of points. We should be scoring. Put these guys behind the scoreboard and make them have to really try to play catch up. And then it can start to snowball in our favor if they try to, make Pavia pass it more. And it's obvious passing situations. We can really pin our ears back, get after them, and play some good coverage, get some picks. But yeah, I mean, this is a game, man. Like I said, if we lose this one, it's on coaching to me.
Yeah. So this is a game I typically would like to get the football in the second half, but in this game, I would want to get it first. Come down, score. We definitely need to be able to run the football better. That's one of the things that I can tell you for the rest of the year. I'm looking for, can we find a way to establish a consistent running game and then stick to that running game, if we've fixed a couple of things with who we're blocking, whether that's players knowing who to block or whether that's from our scheme and making it make sense, then I think that we can beat both of the real games that we got. Sorry to the one that we got coming up this week, but both of the real games that we got coming up. But I will say this, Pete, because our defensive tackles aren't as big as they were last year. Like we don't have those big guys like we used to. How do they hold up? Because that's going to be a huge part of this game. How triple options work, especially if you throw the passing in there, is you can run the football right at folks. If you can run the football right at folks, everything comes off of that. So if you can stop the like middle runs and all that type of stuff, that I think that we can do a better job of stopping other things. I'm not too scared of their athletes out in space on the pitches and the option stuff that goes to the outside and it goes to the edge. I think that we can play straight up man-to-man coverage and we'll be fine. Linebackers, get like a Jaden P out there who can guard that kid Stowers. Hey, that's what we're looking forward to. And then like for these next couple of weeks, or from last week to this week, AC, hopefully he's been able to rest his turf toe. We're going to need him, I think, some versus Florida and then also versus Vandy. But I just think that it's a really good matchup for us, both of them. I just think we have two really good matchups. All right, so let's move on, P, and let's talk about the outlook of the season. So this is just showing you some things that's happened, like leading up to this year, some of the things that we had to deal with. Some of it's going to be, I would say, really all of it you have to put on the staff, but not all of it. Injuries you can't put on the staff. But obviously Nico leaves, and we go out and we pretty much trade for Joey Aguilar, who was a turnover machine before he got here. A lot of folks had us being bad, like you talked about Josh Pate. He said 7-5. I think part of that is from the quarterback. That is a critical position. But then you also, have a very young roster. Oh, I'm sorry, this is just talent. So from a talent standpoint, from 24/7 Sports, we have the number 16 roster in the country, number 9 in the SEC. And that is before you take out, being the youngest roster in the SEC, having 7 scholarship wide receivers, which is dead last in the SEC as far as numbers go. We've only seen what, P? Like 5 of those guys this year. And then really one of those guys is Boo Carter. We'll get to that here in just a second. 4 scholarship safeties, the lowest number in the SEC. Our 2 starting cornerbacks who are really freaking good. Obviously, Mod, first-round talent, even up to this point, not having played all year, still the number 1 rated cornerback from Mel Kiper. But then Ricky Gibson, I think he could have worked himself into a first-round pick, too. He's at least a second-round pick. But those 2 guys are out. And then, you have 2 of your best defensive tackles get injured as well. So, you start the season off super shorthanded, had to play a lot of very fresh, freshmen, very young players. And I think that's a big part of the problem for the defense. And then, Boo Carter, he just hasn't played well. So we're down one of the wide receivers. We just talked about that. We're down a star who we talked about preseason. I don't think that J-Mac is a great star candidate. I think he's a better outside corner. Had to go play at star just for depth. But he's been the starter. And then we're missing like half of a guy who can field punts for us because Boo Carter, sometimes he'll field them. He'll try to make a play. Other times he won't. And then obviously Arion Carter, he had 1 turf toe. Now he has 2 turf toes. So it's just been pretty much, it's been a tough deal for this staff. But we still felt like, man, we should be in the college football playoffs. 2 of the 3 games that we lost, we know that we should have won. Like the Georgia game, definitely should have won, make a kick, win that ball game. And then versus Oklahoma, that's one of the worst losses to me that we've had in such a long time, Pete. But what are your thoughts here just with what all went on in the offseason? Like I said, some of that the staff could have done a better job of getting this right. And then some of it is just, hey, things are what they are, and it went from bad to freaking worse.
Yeah, I don't think we did a great. Excuse me. I don't think we did a great job in the offseason of attacking the portal. I know you were touching on all offseason. We're letting safeties walk out the door. We're letting receivers walk out the door, and then we're not really replacing those guys. And you can kind of see it rearing its ugly head. We're short on depth, especially look at the defensive tackles. I mean, you go out and you get a guy wherever they got what's the name from comes in here at about 6'4", 6'4", 260. I mean, I'll still like to ask. So, what were you guys thinking with this? I would like to ask. What were your plans with this? Because we need some big beefy guys. I don't care if it's a guy that ain't even that good. Go get a big beefy guy. Get somebody you can at least put in there and he's big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the guy Florida had, a big number 21, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, now he's not a bad player, but heck, go get a big guy like that and just, hey, we can put him out there sometimes. You know what I mean? Like at least you could use him. Shaw even touched the field for us, and not to knock the guy. I also think that we brought him into a winning situation for him. And so, we just that's going to be a big thing. I think we're gonna get to this, but just like we got to do a better job with our off-season roster management, and just putting ourselves in position. But all things considered, losing your quarterback, which is something like you touched on, I think a couple of videos ago. I mean, that's on the staff as well. Like, how do you not know this guy's about to leave and not have a plan in place? Because if we had a plan in place, who do we go get? We might have messed around and got Mateer. We might have messed around and got any of these guys. There's no telling. And so we're just being in a much different situation, which Joey's played well, but there's no telling if we had maybe a more talented quarterback, what it would look like with all the new wrinkles and stuff for the offense. So I just think, mismanagement in a lot of different areas in the offseason. But that being said, with all the injuries, everything, this time we came out, like you said, should have beat Georgia. Should have beat them. Like we should be, we'll say at worst right now, a one-loss team. We just got to win out and make playoffs. And probably could still even drop one and still make playoffs. That's a position we should be in. We should be competing for an SC championship this season, but instead, it just seems like the in-game coaching and some of the things, just like you said, the Oklahoma game, just some of the in-game stuff, even the Alabama game. Like there's just things that we're doing in the game. It's like what's going on, So if we can just shore that stuff up. We're a team that's competing for a championship this season, but I guess overall you have to say, this is a winning season overall, just because the expectations coming into it.
Yeah, it's like literally, I think that we kind of like mismanaged, just like what you just said. We just like mismanaged the offseason in such a poor way, and then we had the injuries on top of it, and we still found a way to come out here and be in the position that we were in, and we just, I guess it all like came to a head versus OU. But that does give me confidence that if they just if they do a better job, you don't even do a much better job, just do a better job in the offseason. Of course, we feel like they will do a much better job. Then, just think about where we could be at. So as far as offseason, these are the spots that we know that we're going to probably have to target. Obviously, safeties, P, we're going to need 1 to 2 guys there. You got to go get the best safety out there. I will continue to say it. Everyone needs to keep on saying it so that the people inside of the building know that that's the freaking expectations. Don't skimp on safety no more. You better go get the best guy out there and get him right now. Somebody should already be talking to them. We should already know what the number is so that it can trickle down and we can do everything else that we need to do. It should be that far. We should be that far into it. And I'm not going to settle for anything less than that. The number 1 safety, and then what else are you going to add to that room? That's where I'm at, because that's the floor. You better go find a way to get the number 1 safety out there, period, point blank. You better go do that, because next season will be a hot seat season. If we see the same crap where we're losing ball games that we should be winning, y'all's butts are hot. And I mean that. We're not gonna keep on spinning wheels. But so that's the first part of it. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. And then I would say defensive tackle, P, like we just talked about it. The kid from Florida last season, number 21, he was like 430. Go get a 400-pounder to plug up some daggum gaps. You don't have to teach him too much. Don't get moved, son. We're gonna put you here. Don't get moved. That's it. I'm not saying, I think that we need to go get a good defensive tackle. We don't have to go get the best guy there because we got some good ones. Don't know how the movement's going to look. But then obviously corners, stars, quarterback, we know we probably need more of a backup P. Kicker, I'm going to keep on saying that we need a kicker. I don't care what anybody says. Go get somebody else. Guard, probably going to need one of those unless Wendell Moy comes back. And then running back just for depth purposes, right? Like that's just, hey, this is just like a luxury. We just want, one more person. But what types of players are you looking for here, P? And we can start off with safety.
Yeah, I think you have this thing in the right order as far as your priorities. But safety. I'd say, heck, go out there and get your 2 starters. Go out there and get your 2 guys you think are coming to start. No offense to Farouk, or Sidney Walton, those guys. But hey, like you said, last year we tried to play hey, let's give these guys a chance card. Let's see what these guys can do. This year we're going to say, hey, we're going to bring in guys to take your spot, and it's up to you to show that you're better than them. And I'm getting 2. Like I said, I'm going to get at least the best safety money can buy, and probably even the second best safety money can buy. And I'm gonna get both of those guys. They're gonna be my starters unless they lose out to somebody. I want guys that can cover. That's my main thing. I've kind of switched how I was. I used to be more of a, hey, give me that 6'4", 230 safety, come down the hill, which if you can find that, love it. But now I'm more so like which is why we love Moa. I mean, he's like my prototypical. He's 6'2", 190 pounds in high school. So you figure he's probably going to come in, true freshman, 6'2" and a half, like 207, 208. I think that between that 205 and 210 range is like your prototypical, like this is the guy. And he can cover and move. That's what I want. I want like a Rod Woodson. I mean, a Charles Woodson towards the end of his career. He's playing safety for the Green Bay Packers. Like I want a guy like that can cover and can come downhill and tackle.
Yeah.
That's so if you can find two of those, beautiful. Or maybe one, and then also maybe get a big beefy guy and then come downhill and almost be like an extra linebacker. Love that. Because now you talk about the 4-3. Well, heck, let's run our
nickel
guy or our nickel. And maybe this is a guy who can play star or something like that, or maybe what I mean. And now it's almost like you're running a 4-3, but now you got a cover guy out there as well. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking for at safety. I want some cover guys is my number one priority at that position.
Yeah, and I think that you said it perfectly too. Like we got to go find people who can tackle. I think fundamentals needs to be a huge part of this thing because you're going to teach it, you're going to rep it, and some people are just willing to do it. Some people aren't. I think that you need people who you can tell, hey, they ain't afraid of, they don't, they're not shying away from no smoke. They will go get physical. You got to go get those types of people because one of the things that absolutely makes me sick to my stomach are safeties that will not be physical, safeties that are turning it down. And I'm not saying no names or nothing, but I'm just want to throw it out there as like a general statement. I hate that, bro.
Yeah.
If you're playing safety, you better be a dog or you can't play there. So we have to go find dogs at every single position, even at kicker. I would say especially at kicker. I want a dog. So at defensive tackle, what are you thinking here, Pete?
Yeah, man. I mean, D tackle, I mean, like we've already touched on, I want some big, beefy freaking guys. I mean, I want a whole bunch of them. I mean, as many as you can freaking get. I would say at least bring me at least two guys that are over 315 pounds. I want two of them at least, and they better be able to play. I'm not talking about it, and no offense, okay? I love these guys. I'm not talking about like a Jamal Wallace 315. I want a real, like a big O 320. You know what I mean? I want a real solid guy that's firing off, that's nasty, that's mean. That isn't a guy that switched positions. He's been playing D tackle, since freaking high school. Like he's been in the trenches, and that's what he loves. Like I want at least two of those. And then if you can find an Omar Normal type guy who's also 315, but he haven't got to be that big. Like give me a quick twitch interior guy as well. So I mean, you say 1 to 2. I know we got guys. I would like to go get 3 guys that are going to be in the rotation. They're going to be playing. Maybe even 2 of them are coming in starting. And then hopefully you can get those, those freshmen from this past season, House, Campbell, what's the other guy, Utley, get those guys going. And maybe Utley can even bump out to D end or something, maybe play 3 techs or do something. I want a whole bunch of freaking defensive tackles. I want a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, for me, I just want big dudes. I want 340 plus. Just because for me, I think that's all that we need. I think that we're probably fine with the quicker twitch guys. If Devin Hobbs comes back, I think that you feel pretty good about him being one of those guys. I love Campbell. I love Utley. We got some freshmen coming in that are freaking. And I think that it's tough to play defensive tackle as a true freshman, which we've seen guys doing it this season. They've done a hell of a job, which lets me know that next season, exponential growth. But I think that we might be fine from that standpoint. I just want some big old dudes that can eat up space, and that's it. I mean, if you can go get a guy that's 340, 350 plus, and he looks like, he's moving around pretty good, dude, I think that you pull the trigger there. He might be the most coveted player as far as defensive tackles go in the portal. Going to spend a whole bunch of money. I think that you pull the trigger there. If you want to go win a national championship, that is. If that's what your goal is, go get some dudes. So as far as corners and stars, what are you thinking here, Pete?
This situation, you talk about off-season management, and I don't know when the portal opens up exactly, but you got to be.
It's going to be, I want to say it's January the 12th. It's sometime in January. It's like the second week in January. And I think it's open for maybe 1 week, or it might be 2. It's something like that.
So I don't know when these guys have to announce their intentions on coming back or going pro, but you need to know what Colton Hood's going to do. You need to know what Ricky Gibson's going to do, because that determines things. Because if both those guys leave, you need to go out there and get your, I would say two starting caliber guys. That doesn't mean they're both going to come in and start, but you need to go get you at least two guys. We saw this year, we lost two of them. You know what I mean? And we had true freshman Ty Redmond's played well. But heck, what happens again? You know what I'm saying? So go out and get you at least two starting caliber guys. If those two are leaving. Now, if they're coming back, you still get you maybe like a Jalen McMurray type guy, at least one more guy like that can rotate in. But you're just looking for guys that can come up and cover. Can play press man, but also can play zone. Like, go out there and get you some guys that are, these 4-3. Like, I want guys that can run down the field, can cover a guy. Don't have to worry about him getting ran by. He can run shot for shot anybody. But also, like you always touch on, tackle. And when I talk about tackling, to me, that's a prerequisite. Like, our mom was talking about this a couple weeks ago. Everyone on teams should be able to catch football. Like, that should be automatic. Everyone on teams should be able to tackle, especially if you're playing defense. Like, that's a prerequisite. Like, we're not even considering it if you can't tackle. So, of course, they got to be able to tackle, be physical. But yeah, I would say like a Ty Redmond type mold. Like a 6'2", like a longer, rangier guy that can run and tackle would be what I'm looking for from this position.
Yeah, so I'm pretty so Colton Hood's going. Colton Hood's gone. Okay. Now Ricky Gibson, I think he has to come back unless he wants to play the might not get drafted card sort of. And I'm just saying that just because obviously he didn't play that much this season. Well, you know what, Pete? He might still be able to get drafted. So I'm not sure that, but I feel like he will try to come back to playing college football. But is he going to come back to Tennessee? I don't know. But you're talking about some of the like fundamental stuff and some of the teaching with our cornerbacks. Coach E.T., I know that we're talking about players, but Coach E.T. probably needs to get some sort of a like upgrade, whatever. He needs to get a raise because he's our cornerbacks coach. I saw Colton Hood talking about it. Coach E.T. had a strong point of emphasis in getting off blocks and making tackles before that OU game, which is part of the reason that we look better. The tackling with the secondary hasn't been great, but it's to me, can he coach our safeties too? Because that's a really like those guys need help as well. But you feel confident that whoever we bring in, if Coach E.T. can coach them, then they're going to be fun. So, yeah. What are you thinking about stars?
Yeah, star, I mean, you need to go out there and find you a guy that can freaking cover. I mean, a guy that can, again, I want speed all over the field. So, look for these freaking track guys, these 4-3 guys. Get you a guy that, that can just match up in coverage, but as well that can come downhill and cover. I think you can find you a guy like a Jermon McCoy type guy. I think he'd be a beautiful star. Now, we kind of hit the jackpot on that one.
Yeah.
I know it's not necessarily easy to do that, but to me, I mean, don't be scared. I don't know how much money it's going to cost. Don't be scared, at least on the defensive side of the ball, to go out there and get the number one player at each one of these positions.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to do it, guys. Don't be scared to look back and say, hey, we got the most expensive roster this season. Don't be scared to be that team. Go out there and spend the money, get the best guys you can find. But yeah, star, you're looking for guys that can cover in the slot fade. Hey, we can man up. I don't care if it's a 4-3 guy across from me. I'm a 4-3 guy too. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm stride for stride with you, and I can tackle, and I can do it all. So go out there and find the best money star can buy as well.
Yeah, and look, as I've said for the past couple of weeks, my biggest problem with the stars is with the short inside routes. We have not covered inside routes from the star position well at all this season, at all. Inside routes or hells. Outside routes either. I mean, like they're killing us on almost everything. So yeah, we've got to get some real dudes there. And they better do it. Like you have to spend a lot more money on defense. We've taken so many discounts, brought in so many players that were discount players, and folks aren't. I'm going to go back to Coach E.T. Folks aren't talking about what he's done with what he's had. Folks ain't talking about that. But give the credit where it's due because it's been rightfully earned. But yeah, bro, go get some freaking dudes. All right, like spend the freaking money, go and get dudes. At quarterback, P, are we on the same page with the backup there?
Yeah, go out there and get your backup. If you can find you one, get your guy that can come in and just be a daggone piece. I don't know if what's the guy we had, Gatson Martin, if he's got any eligibility, because I don't think he played this past year. But if we can get a guy like him, perfect. Come on in. Perfect. You're here if we need you, but don't expect to be the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And I mean, shoot, it would be good if maybe Merck would stick around and we can let it be an open competition and just let things play out how they will. At kicker, what are you feeling here, P?
I think you definitely go out there and get you the best kicker money can buy. I don't care if that's a deal you got to go overseas, maybe get a guy from Australia or something. Like go get you a guy who, like you talk about, who just has that dog in him. He ain't scared of nothing. I forget that movie. It was one of those movies that the kicker He was over there smoking a cigarette, and
Oh
then
yeah,
they called him come in. He freaking put it out, went out there and freaking boots at 60 yards. Like, go get that guy.
yeah,
Go get your roughneck guy who's getting in bar fights. You know, maybe a guy from freaking Scotland or something. Go get you somebody that just, you know, he doesn't care. Like when I was at the band, we had Kerry Spear. I mean, he was a dog. I mean, this is a guy, he's coming out here on kickoff, and, you know, we're doing off-season workouts. He's first in all the drills. He's putting up crazy numbers in the weight room. He was a real, like, people talk about kickers, they don't do nothing. Kerry Spear was different. That whole specialty group we had, they were different. Like, those guys were dogs. Go get you some freaking dogs, man. You know what I mean?
yeah. And I think that that's what the mindset has to be. Like, you cannot just be satisfied. And I'm sorry, there are people on this roster that, you know, we got to find somebody else. That's just what it is. If you want to win, you got to look at every single position, and we have to demand the excellence. I'm kind of like tired of holding people's hands. So guard, I think that we might need one, and that's if Wendell Moore leaves. But what are you looking for here, Pete?
Yeah, I mean, if we find a Wendell Moore clone, that'd be nice. I haven't really done any scouting looking at guys, but yeah, you just want a big, beefy guy. I want a daggum road grader who can really move guys. You know, we talk about getting these big defensive tackles, but we're going to play some teams with big defensive tackles. I want guys on the inside that I'm confident can go one-on-one with the 420-pound guy. You know what I mean? Like, I want guys like that. Get you a big, beefy guy, but also you want to be athletic because we do a lot of pulling, things like that, and you don't want to get beat, you know, with a quick pass rush on the interior of D-line as well. So, again, this is another position, depending on what Wendell Moore does, like you said, maybe you go out and you freaking find the best guard money can buy, at least like a top 3 or 4 guy. And then you hope that those young guys we got, Agamoro, those guys, maybe even a Nick Moore can bump out, whatever, those guys can develop, or maybe even a Satterwhite develops and you can move Pendleton back to guard, something like that. Hope those guys develop, but you got to go get you at least one body that is starting caliber, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm on the same page there, but I think that we've done a pretty good job of really like finding offensive linemen from the portal. So running back, that's the last one. P, what are you thinking here?
I mean, you know, like I said, just looking for a depth piece here. I like the young guys we have. You expect to have Peyton Lewis and Bishop come back, so you have 4 guys there, and just probably need you one more guy just in case something happens. But you know, you can find like a Star Thomas type guy who wasn't a ton of expectation coming into it, but he really popped and ended up being a guy. I mean, that'd be nice. I wouldn't spend money here. You talk about getting the best money can buy these other positions. Running back, I wouldn't say that. I'd say you go get your guy. You take a discount here. The running backs are almost a dime a dozen. You never know anybody could pop. You know what I'm saying? So, and with our scheme, I mean, pretty much anybody can run the ball in this scheme. So I wouldn't spend a ton of money here.
Yeah, the only thing that I would maybe be looking for is somebody who can catch, somebody with some good hands. I think that we need that. But I also feel like our younger running backs will probably have better hands. Like, I know Justin Baker's got some hands. So, you know, there's that. But I would probably also try to get you like a bigger body. Maybe if you can find both of those things in one player while also taking a discount, I'm sure that there are plenty of players out there who fit that mold. Then I think that that's what we need to do. But P, that is going to wrap it up. And listen, thank y'all so much for sticking all the way to the end. If you did, then it means that you probably liked this video. So please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll have some more thoughts, man, over the course of the week. And we'll be talking to y'all then. Thanks. Peace. Thanks for watching. And please make sure to like and subscribe to the channel because that keeps us growing inside of the YouTube algorithm. And if you did like this video, here's another one that you might also enjoy. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.